I'll go and say that, everything that Steve said is perfectly valid. I mean, as I was saying before, I mean, I got the most up for this letdown because I personally want to believe in it. I want my baseball team to be good, and trying to go through the season the way that Steve describes it literally probably would have broke my spirit already. I would be dead. Like, I would probably have had a fucking heart attack already. And so, I want to preface it with this. Some of it's the expectations, right? We've seen so many fucking shitty years of White Sox baseball.
Tony,
so many.
This team was picked to win the World Series by
I know.
multiple people.
I know, and that's sort of the same sense metaphorically. You can look at this entire club the same way you can look at Yoan Moncada's career right now. This was a guy that was talked about as a fucking phenom. And then, like, everybody's debating half the time. You have to, just the same way you have to preface.
Oh, Tone.
The same way you have to preface, I like Yoan Moncada, but this shit fucking stinks. Every single Yoan Moncada thing that comes out there, it's like, I like Yoan Moncada. I'm a big fan of him, but something fucking just stinks. It smells rotten. It's like, I'm a White Sox fan, but this doesn't work. And so you just sit there in the same fucking chair every night, and you drink your beer, you watch this team, and you get mad. And so, yeah, sometimes you have to just buy in, and then you just fucking explode at the end.
But Tony, this isn't just this year. Like,
oh no, it's every year.
We bought in 2016,
and that's part of the problem.
We were the ones that were following the damn Charlotte Knights Twitter feeds, getting highlights fed to us every single night. And we can't wait till these guys show up. And then we get promised that the money's going to be spent and this and that. And then Steve, I think was it you that put it on Twitter today about it was a 2018-2019 offseason that fucked us. It started this whole thing.
That's what started this reaction.
We cheapened out in 2018-2019, and we got lucky in 2020 with the shortened season. We were able to win the division. That's all well and good. We're like, okay, here we go. Now we're off and running. And then we failed to fill the holes that we needed to fill. But hey, don't worry. We got Larry Garcia to a 3-year fucking contract for whatever that. But it's one thing after another, and every single one of us, got up for the letdown, and now we are. I'm going to say this is fucking rock bottom, strictly from the expectations, because the main question how the fuck do we fix this? I don't know. We're not going to just sign one player and be like, yep, we're all good.
The thing that makes this even tougher to deal with, so piggybacking off of the expectations aspect of it there, Sean, you're 100% right. This team was picked by just about everybody to win the division. You look at any projection system, they all had this team about 90 to 92 wins. And I had somebody tell me over the last couple of days, Cleveland is going to win this division in a year where they were not even expecting or frankly trying to compete. They were literally talking about trading Shane Bieber in April.
Weren't they talking about trading Jose Ramirez too?
No, they
signed him to that extension.
Like last year, though.
Last year, sure. But I mean, going into the start of the season and into April, there was literally, I can't remember if it was Passan or what national guy wrote an article basically saying that it looks as if the Shane Bieber's time in Cleveland is going to be coming to an end before the trade deadline.
This was a team at the trade deadline that didn't do anything strictly because I don't even think that they bought in yet that they were contenders. They
traded for Sandy Leone.
That's wonderful, right? But you know what I mean. Like and we don't do anything, and that's a whole different conversation. But Cleveland didn't even believe in really what the fuck they were doing, and here they are with a 6-game lead.
I want to bring up the fact that I've said this for a long time, even back to my Shy Sox Weekly days, that when it came time for Rick Hahn to buy at a deadline, to figure out how to do that, he was potentially going to be trigger shy because of what happened in something that Steve said, the last rebuild that nobody wants to talk about, he got burned, and he got burned bad. And we've never seen this front office really put the capping moves on a team the way that other organizations have. Even you go back to 2005, and they got pretty lucky that they only had to make small minor adjustments. This organization has never brought in.
I got to push back on that for a second, Anthony. I got to push back on that for a second. You weren't old enough to remember this, but they had at the time a deal in place for Ken Griffey Jr., and he nixed the deal in 2005
at the trade deadline.
Yes.
Yep. I remember that.
So it still didn't get done.
I understand that, but again, I mean, they made the move was made. The deal was
apparently that White Sox David was bringing up the other day that they had a deal in place for Jake Arrieta.
They did that, but
nixed because of a failed physical.
Jesse Crane failed the physical.
Yeah, and then you add that up to every single time they've had a seat at the table. It doesn't matter what the fucking excuse is for that it didn't get done. It didn't get done.
It's always something. The Torrey Hunter shit. We've been dealing with this for years, right? The Torrey Hunter shit. The Bryce Harper stuff. The Manny Machado stuff. Like
you can't throw Bryce Harper in there because they didn't even fucking try. They didn't even fucking try. You literally
somebody made a graphic and paraded it around the United Center boards.
Okay, did they have a meeting? Yes, and there's a video clip. You can find it on the interwebs. I think it was with CBS Sports. He literally talked about loving the mentality on the South Side of Chicago and the Sox fan base. You can find it if you want it.
This.
If you read between the lines, it was pretty clear. He kind of wanted it. He kind of wanted it.
Well, because he wanted to be here to be by Chris Bryant. Like there were storylines and narratives about him coming to Chicago for that reason. I mean, I still remember the NBC graphics that said that Nolan Arenado was going to be playing third base for the Chicago White Sox, and the Chuck Garfien podcast that said how great Alec Hansen was going to be as the number 2 starter in this rotation.
Why do we do this to ourselves?
Because we love baseball, Sean.
But here's the thing. But okay, us as a fan base, right? Okay, so moving forward, we know that this season's fucked and we're done and whatever. Moving forward, when it comes to a free agent, right? Comes to a big name, are we ever going to?
Is he who shall remain nameless still alive?
Well, yeah,
that's the question.
Never mind. Yeah, because as long as he's running the show, we're going to get what we get.